If anybody cries, it's Baker.
I don't know. I seem like such a harsh person, but if somebody cries,
Alright, Exodus 19 today. Okay, so last week we saw the 3 stories of dependency. Remember, God provided water from a rock. He had a very interesting battle strategy, right? And then he spoke some wise words through a father-in-law. Okay? So this week, we finally arrive at the mountain. Remember, the whole point of leaving Exodus, we were going to go to a mountain and we were going to worship and we were going to offer sacrifices and stuff. We finally make it to the mountain this week. Okay? So, Exodus 19, verse 1. On the 3rd new moon, after the people of Israel had gone out of the land of Egypt, on that day they came into the wilderness at Sinai. They set out from Rephidim and came into the wilderness of Sinai, and they encamped in the wilderness. There Israel encamped before the mountain. While Moses went up to God, the Lord called to him out of the mountain, saying, Thus you shall say to the house of Jacob, and tell the people of Israel, You yourselves have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, you shall be my treasured possession among all peoples, for all the earth is mine. And you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words that you shall speak to the people of Israel. Okay, so it's been 3 months since we left Egypt. We're told here 3 moons, so about 3 months. Moses had led the people to this mountain, okay? For the next year, they're going to camp near this mountain, okay? And it's such a significant time, this year that they spend here. The next 57 chapters are devoted to just this 1 year, okay? So the rest of Exodus, all of Leviticus, and into Numbers 10 before they leave, okay? So 57 chapters.
No, are we into the 40 years that they're in?
No. We haven't even sinned yet to get to the 40-year punishment.
Got it. Okay.
We're leaving Egypt. So 3 months travel down the Sinai Peninsula to get to the mountain.
How many years are we starting here?
We're still
1 year at the mountain. They're going to spend 1 year.
57 chapters.
57, the next 57 chapters. So Exodus 19 all the way to Numbers 10 is just talking about the 1 year we spent here at this mountain. Okay? We will not go
to get to
through
the
all of
40
this.
years.
I'm not sure. I'll have to get you the exact verse, but we are going to talk about it.
So they're like, just,
they build it a small.
like my brain is trying to like, just compute the
time.
disobedience for like 40 years.
40 years. We're going to get there. We're going to figure out what happens.
And we're not even in the 40 years yet.
No.
But what happens in this year is going to lead to why.
Yes. What some of the events that are going to happen over the next year are going to be why they have to wander for 40 years.
And he tells us.
He tells us. So we got to build. We're building. So they think they're heading to Canaan. That's what they know. Okay, they're going the long route. But they trip up on the way there. And then they got to do a 40-year lap. And then the next generation gets to go. So the second
They don't
generation.
even get to go?
They don't get to go. They all will die. 20 and over all pass away. So 20 and under get to go to Canaan. And newborns of the 40 years.
Because of their sin.
Because of the
So
sin.
then we at least
Which
know that
is in the
Joshua was not 20 years of age.
No, he was probably younger. But he also, him and Caleb are the only 2 exceptions because they were the faithful spies. So they get exempt from it. So they're the only 2 that get exempt. So they might have been early 20s. Okay. Alright, so the next 57 chapters is just this 1 year, 1 location right here at the mountain, this 1 period of time. But before God gives a single law, before he judges, before he does any of that, any requirement, he reminds them of what he's already done. Remember what I did to Egypt, what I did for you, bringing you out of there. And he says an interesting phrase. He says, I carried you on eagle's wings and I brought you to myself. Okay? So the obedience that he is going to expect from them isn't coming out of the commandments that he has not given them yet. It's supposed to be coming out of what he's already done for them. Okay? That's the picture that he's trying to paint here. God reminds them that they did not fly out of Egypt on their own, right? It was not their doing that got them out. They were carried. And what's interesting, he doesn't say carried to a promised land. He says, I carried you to myself, to me. I'm the goal. Relationship with me is the goal here. He didn't just free them out of slavery. He wanted to give them a relationship with himself. So he is the goal. And he makes this extraordinary offer. He says, if you obey my voice, my covenant, you will be my treasured possession. And I'm going to make you a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. So they get to be representatives on earth to show the world God, to show the true God. And that means that every single person, not just Aaron and his sons, which is what Leviticus is going to be about, it's going to be every person of Israel invited into this relationship with God and to be a representative among all of the nations. This was the whole point. Okay? And eventually that offer would be extended to every believer. We would become the extended holy priesthood through Christ and through the new covenant. Okay? So, in a similar way, we're often tempted to settle for what God does for us instead of pursuing who God is. We want the miracles, we want to get out of Egypt, we want to get out of bondage, and we forget that the whole goal is that relationship. Okay? Alright, so let's find out what happens next in verse 7. So Moses came and called the elders of the people and set before them all these words that the Lord had commanded him. All the people answered together and said, all that the Lord has spoken we will do. And Moses reported the words of the people to the Lord. And the Lord said to Moses, behold, I am coming to you in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with you, and may also believe you forever. When Moses told the words to the people to the Lord said to Moses, go to the people and consecrate them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their garments and be ready for the third day. For on the third day the Lord will come down on Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people. And you shall set limits for the people all around, saying, take care not to go up into the mountain or touch the edge of it. Whoever touches the mountain shall be put to death. No hand shall touch him, but he shall be stoned or shot. Whether beast or man, he shall not live. When the trumpet sounds a long blast, they shall come up to the mountain. So Moses went down from the mountain to the people and consecrated the people, and they washed their garments. And he said to the people, be ready for the third day. Do not go near a woman. All right. So Moses is going up and down this mountain. How old is Moses? 8 for Moses. He is going up and down this mediation between God and the people. So he goes back up, tells God what the people said, he goes back down and tells the people what God said. Okay? And he gathers up these elders and he tells them everything that God said. And the people responded. Everything that Yahweh has said we will do. This is called open mouth, insert foot. Okay? They're going to say, whatever God tells us to do, we're going to do it. We're going to fully obey whatever God tells us. Spoiler alert, they don't.
That's a lie.
Yeah, that's a lie. False. They lie. But they have a good intentions of what they're doing. So it's a good answer. We'll see how it holds up. So God then tells them to have a preparation period of a couple of days. Okay, they need to consecrate themselves. They need to wash their clothes. They've been walking around in clothes. There's no laundromat in the desert. They got stout, which means if they need to wash their clothes, what do they need? Water. God's going to provide water for them. They need to cleanse themselves. Okay, and he says, on the third day, I'm going to come down on the mountain. And you're going to see this cloud of smoke and everything. And you need to be ready for this. But he also says, I'm going to put a boundary around the mountain, okay? No one is to come near the mountain and touch it. Because basically, if God comes down to it, it's now considered holy ground. You cannot touch it, okay?
So the people can't touch it, or he's putting a boundary around the people so people can't come in and attack them?
The people can't touch the mountain. So the mountain is now holy, so all of Israel and stuff can't come and touch the mountain. And he even says, be careful not to let the animals come near the mountain. This is how holy the ground is going to be, okay? And he says that if any person or animal touches the mountain, the people are to stone them or shoot them with an arrow. They don't have guns, okay?
Why
They're
can't
not
they touch
rifles.
it?
Because it's
It's going to
considered
be
now
holy. Well, why is he making it holy?
Because he's going to come down on it. and rest his presence on it. God.
Okay.
He's a holy God.
Holy
He
God.
wants him to recognize how holy he is.
Yeah.
You
You can't come near, all of us are going to die. So he's warning them ahead of time before he even comes. Put up a boundary, don't let anybody come near, otherwise they're gonna die. So he's giving them a warning, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, so he says, they either need to be stoned or shot through with an arrow. That means that nobody could even put hands on something that got judged. Okay, so they had to, from a distance, judge them, okay? So even their corpse was considered too dangerous, too holy to touch because they had touched something holy.
So I thought they'd be already dead if they touched it. And why would you have
This
to
is
stone
saying that
them?
if somebody touches it, they need to be stoned or shot through with an arrow. So it's putting the judgment actually on the people.
Okay.
Yeah, they are now responsible. So this is community responsibility. Don't go near there. And now it's my job to keep an eye on everyone, and it's everyone else's job to keep an eye on me. Okay, so you hear this community judgment here.
They don't die just touching it, they're gonna be stoned.
They're going to be stoned. So the penalty is death, but it's in the hands of the community. Okay? All right, so the truth, this chapter here holds two truths that we have to kind of hold simultaneously. God is inviting his people closer. He wants them to come near to here, but he's also saying it's not safe to approach me in the way that you want to approach me, in a casual way. I'm going to dictate how this relationship is going to be.
Is part of that because of all the sinning that we have done leading up
Absolutely. Yeah,
since
they are
leaving
still
the garden, basically?
right. They're still holding on to sin because they have not done the sacrificial system. We don't have any of that going on yet. And so we have a sinful people, we have a holy God who is coming down, and we have Moses who's going back and forth. Very cool picture here, okay? But God's saying, I'm going to put boundaries. We're going to have boundaries for our relationship, okay? So boundaries are healthy. So this is holiness, okay? Holy God in proximity to a sinful people is hazardous to our health, okay? Not God's. But he wants to have these warnings here. So this is the conditions to survive the holiness, okay? So he's not saying, I'm so holy you can't even come near me. He's saying, I want you to come near me, but you're going to do it on my terms. Okay? So we tend to want to remember one way or the other, right? We want a God who's so close and accessible and safe to approach in just any way, in any condition, in any moment of the day. That's one, okay? Or we have a God who's so holy and so distant, just requires so much protocol that sometimes we just don't even want to bother, right? We think that our thing is too small or too far-fetched, that God wouldn't even want to deal with it because he's so holy. And this picture here is putting both of them in the same hands. He's going, yeah, he's so holy that you don't have any right to come near him, and at the same time he's going to come because I don't want to have a relationship with you. I want you to come, okay? So we don't always get to pick one or the other. God's handing us both here, okay? He is deeply personal and absolutely holy at the same time,
I have chill bumps.
right?
That's cool.
It's incredible, incredible picture of our God, and this is the first picture before anything else. 10 Commandments is next, but this is even before the 10 Commandments. This is before Leviticus. This is before anything. He's going, I want you to come close. You're going to do it on my terms because I don't want you to die. Because if you die, I can't have a relationship with you, right?
And he won't be disrespected.
And he won't be disrespected. Absolutely not, okay? So we can't be too casual, but we also can't keep ourselves so distant and think that God is just too far holy that we just can't even have a relationship with him. We've got to hold the two together, okay? All right, so verse 16. On the morning of the third day, don't you love that that's in the Old Testament? On the morning of the third day, there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud on the mountain, and a very loud trumpet blast, so that all the people in the camp trembled. Then Moses brought the people out of the camp to meet God, and they took their stand at the foot of the mountain. Now Mount Sinai was wrapped in smoke, because the Lord had descended on it in fire. The smoke of it went up like the smoke of a kiln, and the whole mountain trembled greatly. And as the sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder, Moses spoke, and God answered him in thunder. And the Lord came down on the Mount Sinai to the top of the mountain, and the Lord called Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. Okay? So the third day, sun rises, and the day arrives, and so does God. He shows up. and it's thundering and lightning, and this huge cloud, this thick cloud descends down on the mountain. So we have these incredibly frightening things, but we could explain it with nature, right? Kind of sounds like a really bad storm has like come up onto this mountain. But then we have something interesting. We have a trumpet that's blaring that no one is playing. The people down on the floor are not playing the trumpet. The trumpet sound is coming from the mountain. It's coming and it's getting louder and louder and louder to where the people, it is so loud they are literally being reverberated and shaken because this trumpet sound is getting louder and louder and louder. The trumpet sound is coming from heaven. So God is literally parting here, and he's coming down, but he can't come down in silence. He's coming down with, you hear the glory and the praise coming down with him because he deserves it. He's so holy. And the people are just down in the camp just shaking. They see all of the lightning and thunder and the smoke, and they hear the trumpet, and it's just getting louder and louder and louder. They can't even think straight. And they're trembling. And Moses walks forward, goes back up the mountain, and he tells them, come with me. How many of you would leave your tent? I wouldn't. I'd be like, that's cool. No, I'm right here. That's cool. Right? Because we can't touch the mountain. We can't, touch it. We can't get near it here. So you have to appreciate these steps of obedience. Moses says, come with me. Come on. We're going to go near the mountain. Okay? And they go. I don't think I would. We've got this mountain wrapped in smoke. We have God descending in fire and lightning. The whole mountain is shaking. The trumpet just keeps getting louder. And I love this, that Moses speaks to God, and it says that God answers him. Okay? So Moses speaks, God answers. And in the ESV here, it says that God answers in thunder, but the Hebrew word there is really broad. It can mean sound, thunder, or voice. Okay? So God had already told Moses and the people that they would hear him speak to Moses. So we assume here that they are hearing something so loud, the voice of God, that sounds like thunder. It sounds like this really, really loud noise. Okay?
What are they seeing? They're seeing the cloud.
They're seeing the cloud, the smoke, the lightnings, all that stuff. Yeah. It looks like the mountain's on fire. It looks like there's this horrible storm going on this mountain. Okay? So this is the thundering voice of God, audible that they can hear it.
Now Moses was given permission by God to actually go and touch the mountain. And
Yes,
go up.
he's the one mediator going back and forth. Okay, so the Moses is going up and down here. Okay, and this is not the first time Moses has been on this mountain. This is his mountain. This is the mountain where he first met God in the burning bush that didn't burn up. Okay. So he got a little preview of the little tiny bush that's, on fire, and now the whole mountain is on fire, and there's thunder, and there's lightning, and there's this trumpet blaring, okay? This is the same mountain, and we've got 2 million people down in the valley staring up at this mountain, and Moses keeps disappearing into the cloud and coming back down, okay? All right, so
that's just sort of weird to me because it says that Moses spoke and the voice of God answered him and told him to come up, but then he's telling Moses to come up and he's giving him instructions for Moses to go back down. Why doesn't he just speak? If they can hear his voice, why is he?
Yeah, we
still
wonder
using a mediator?
if that they can understand what God is saying, or if they just hear him having a conversation with Moses. So that's not clear, but we have this picture of a mediator for a reason, which we're going to get to in the next section of why Moses is the mediator.
Almost like an interpreter.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So verse 21, let's finish this up and then we'll talk about the mediation. And the Lord said to Moses, go down and warn the people, lest they break through to the Lord to look, and many of them perish. Also let the priests who come near to the Lord consecrate themselves, lest the Lord break out against them. And Moses said to the Lord, the people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, for you yourself warned us, saying, set limits around the mountain and consecrate it. And the Lord said to him, go down and come up, bringing Aaron with you. But do not let the priests and the people break through to come up to the Lord, lest he break out against them. So Moses went down to the people and told them. Okay? So at the top of the mountain, God told Moses, I want you to go back down to clarify the warning that I gave them. Okay? Because you kind of see it kind of from God's perspective too. if Moses disappears and all the people are going, they're getting closer and closer to the boundary. Okay? Curiosity is, oh, is he coming back down? What is he seeing? Is something there that we can kind of see? And they're getting closer.
They
So-
might even wonder if he's dead.
Yeah. What happened?
And how long was he up there?
How long is he going to stay?
Yeah.
What is going on here? They don't really understand all of this. And so God, I love this, sends Moses back down and he says, I want you to go warn the people again. You cannot come near, otherwise you're going to die. Okay, so he doesn't want them to just smite them all and start over again, right? He's saying, I don't want them to die. Please go remind them they can't come near here, okay? They can't come up here. So God is taking this boundary thing very seriously, and he wants the people to take it very seriously too, okay? So God confirms, I want you to go back down, remind them, and bring Aaron up with you, okay? But make sure the people don't follow. Make sure the priests are ready, they're in their designated spot, okay? Bring Aaron back with you. So Moses goes back down. So we have this picture of this multiple times of back and forth between Moses and God. Moses goes up, he receives a word, he comes back down and tells the people, okay? And then he goes back up. It's this picture of mediation, okay? So Moses stands between a holy God and a sinful people, being able to interpret, this is what God has said to you. You need to obey. People said, yeah, we're going to obey. They go back, he goes back up to God. This is what the people said, okay? So he's standing here in the presence of God, probably not physically, but between all of this going on. Moses is acting as this bridge of communication between these people. And this arrangement was pointing forward to a different human mediator who could move between God and the people. The people can't go up to God, and God is too holy to come down and inhabit the sinful humans, okay? So, he's bringing the human needs to God, all right? But this role is going to require more than Moses. Moses, remember, is still a sinful human being, okay? But God is giving him the steps to follow, to go back and forth, and he is giving him his righteousness. He's not saying that Moses has earned any of this. God is the one calling him to come back up, okay? And is giving him that protection each time. And the people at the foot of the mountain are just watching Moses disappear into the cloud and then come back, and disappear in the cloud and come back, okay? And they're waiting for the one who would come to fulfill that mediation, okay, to be able to bring them to God, because Moses can't bring anybody up unless God says. And he tells them, bring Aaron with you, but don't let the people follow you. This is not free access to me. You're going to do this on my terms here, okay? So humans would ultimately need a much better mediator than Moses, and that was going to be our Savior, Jesus. He was going to be the one to come down in human flesh and be that mediator between God and these people, okay? So God said that his goal was to bring Israel to himself. He had to get them out of Egypt, but not just a rescue mission to then just let them go live their own lives. The goal was a relationship with himself. And yet, we finally get to the mountain, and it's as close as they're going to get. They get right to the foot of the mountain, the smoke and the fire and the boundaries and the trumpet, and all of it makes it clear that close is not close enough. They cannot just walk into the presence of God, okay? So the story of the entire rest of the Bible from here to Revelation is God closing that gap. Okay? He is the one who moves. The people never get to go up the mountain. It's God who comes down in the form of the mediator of Jesus. Okay? So Moses at this point is just a shadow. He's a picture of what God is going to do. And because he cannot continue for the next millennium to go up and down that mountain, God has to come down the mountain. The boundaries don't move. God is the one who moves. Okay? And ultimately, Jesus is going to be the one to break the boundary, to come to us, and to give us his righteousness. Okay? So, here's your challenge for this week. In light of the access that you have been given on this side of the cross, through Jesus, access that these people in Israel did not have, ask yourself honestly, Are you using that access? Okay? Or are you still standing down at the foot of the mountain, thinking that God is too holy, that you cannot come to him, that you cannot tell him the things you need to tell him, or deal with the little things in your life that you think aren't worthy of his time? So, are you standing at the foot of the mountain, or are you following Jesus up the mountain to speak to your Heavenly Father?